If you saw our previous video, we had a bit of trouble snapping one of the connectors on the hose. So that's been a mission to get out, and the hose that I don't need to replace is easy to get off. The hose I do need to replace is a nightmare to get off. Yes, I finally got this hose out. It's taken me hours to get this out of here. So you can see that that's snapped off, so I can take that in and get a new one. So here's the new hose that they made up for me. Basically just a like for like. Got it done at NZ, it was 95 bucks. He did it in about 5 minutes. Does $95 sound really expensive for that? I thought it seemed expensive, but I guess that's just what it costs. So I'm just getting that new hose back on again, and you can see up there it is really, really tight. So at one point I didn't think it was possible, but we've got the new hose back in, so we're ready to connect up again. So I'm just checking the hydraulic oil here. We did obviously have some leak out, but I don't think it's all come out. Yeah, still some in there. Not a whole heap though. And it's on an angle. So I know it needs some in there for the motor. But we might be alright just to test it out. It probably does need we need to dump that oil. Works. That's good. That's back. I think we're going the right way. Yeah, that wants to go that way. That wants to go that way. Yeah, no, that's right. Woohoo! I'll just rev it up and see if we've got any leaks or anything. So we bought this little digger about 2.5 years ago. It's since been bought out by Kato. It's an IHI model. It's 1.8 tons. We bought it for 7.5 grand. And as you would have seen, if you've seen the last video, the final drive just blew oil all through it. Check that video out if you want to look at that. So we're left with the conundrum of really fixing it. The digger's useless without a foot. So I did a lot of investigation, had some good help on the New Zealand Digger Facebook group, and made a few phone calls. I found out pretty quickly that this drive motor is not the most common in the world. It was a bit of a slightly random one. Meaning that out of Japan it is really expensive. So we're talking 4 to 5 grand expensive, and with the value of the digger, lifestyle block, I'm not going to be using it much. I was like, what is the point of that? So I thought there must be another way, so I kept phoning around, but I did keep getting the same sort of answer that just replace it. It's too hard. We can't even find you another one. I got a hold of Jason at Trackworks in Pukekohe, and he seemed to have a real rational, practical approach right from the start. He's like, look, send it up to me. We'll spend a couple hours looking at it. I mean, if it's stuffed, you've wasted a few $100, but at least you know. And I thought, well, that makes sense. But he was pretty confident that they could fix it. So we did that, sent that up. So once they pulled the unit apart, they could see the gears in there were worn, but not completely worn. So he gave me the option of getting new ones. We both sort of thought that it would be fine to run what we've already got there and put in a thicker oil and just do constant maintenance and checking of that oil. The ring was the problem. Now, I'm not sure of all the terminology, but there's a seal in there. Well, one of the backup ring, I think it's called, that holds the seal in there, well, firstly wasn't in there. So someone had missed that on a previous reinstall. So that means that O-ring could be pushed back and the oil blowing through. So that was the problem, that hydraulic oil blowing through where the gear oil should be, and there was no gear oil left in it. And then one day it just went all over the ground. And the other thing was, I might get this around the wrong way, but I'm pretty sure there was an imperial seal in there, not a metric one. And they look the same, but when you measure it all up, they are slightly different, and it means it doesn't seat on there properly, again, which means blowing oil through. So Jason did a whole heap of work, and kept me informed the whole way through, which I was much appreciated of. And he ended up having to get a seal custom made for it, because buying one ex-Japan, again, was super expensive and not practical for the situation. So we got one made up, cleaned everything up, put it all back in there, and boom, you've seen from the video, it's all working good as gold. So just a big thanks to all the guys at Trackworks and persevering with something that wasn't a super easy fix, but everyone else said it couldn't be fixed by a new one. So saved me a whole heap of money, and we've got a whole heap of learning, and we've put this learning onto this video for you guys. So if you enjoy it, thumbs up, comment below. I might be able to help you out a little bit with the track motor, since I've learned a few new things here.